everyone, and welcome back to the Hallmarkies podcast. Kari and Ann here again to talk Murder She Baked, which is not Murder She Baked, of course. We can't call it that anymore. You can't use that hashtag anymore. These are Hannah Swensen Mysteries. Yes.
Rebrand.
Rebrand. So Sweet Revenge just premiered last Sunday night. So we're going to attempt not to give too many spoilers, but when talking about it and just reviewing the movie, we might just let some slip. So just beware if you haven't seen it yet. You might, I don't know, listen to the podcast anyway, definitely, but then have to go watch it again. There are a ton of other things to talk about though too. I mean, this was so fun to see. But same wonderful Hannah.
Yeah, she's definitely the same. Still same Hannah, which was great.
Same kind of elements to her character, like she thinks best when she's baking, and this movie was it was Sweet Revenge is what the name was, but it was the cream puffs that she was trying to find the best cream puff recipe.
Yeah.
So okay, but the new things, let's jump into some of those.
Yes.
Off the bat.
Yep.
What did you notice right off the bat? What was different to you in the Hannah Swensen series?
Well, actually, it was only things. I mean, I would have noticed it, but because like you had mentioned it in our chat, I was like, Lake Eden, like, am I dyslexic? Like, what's happening? And then it's like everywhere in your face, and you're like, okay, they really want you to know that they changed the name.
Totally.
Unless they just forgot, like they changed the name.
It was Lake Eden. And I honestly thought I was crazy at first. I was like, did I miss something here? Was it always Lake Eden and I made a mistake on the podcast? Like,
no. It was definitely Eden Lake. Like, I was just like, what is happening? Lake Eden, municipal bank, Lake Eden, the sign for the town. Like, I was like, this
everything.
is so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was for sure right off the bat. I was like, okay, we're not in Murder She Baked land anymore.
Yeah, they're trying to like show us this is they're rebranding this whole thing because the town's even named something different.
Totally. And I'm not exactly sure of the reason for that, but since we aired last Friday's episode about the preview, have we learned a little bit more why they rebranded Murder She Baked to Hannah Swensen Mysteries?
I saw an article that said that that Allison Sweeney said because like different execs and people were involved in it, that they, I guess, I don't know if they needed to or just wanted to rebrand it.
Okay.
Maybe it was that they had to. I'm not really sure. But I guess because different people were involved, they rebranded it. And just chose Hannah Swensen because obviously it's the character we all love that's returning. And so I guess that's why. But it did I don't know. Because the town name and then Michelle's here. It's the casting's different,
Casting's a little different. Let's talk about that.
A little bit
different. One thing about the town again, though, is that, to be honest, it lost a little bit of that small town feel to me.
Yeah. You can tell they're not filming in the same places.
They're not filming in the same places.
It doesn't feel that. Yeah,
you can, because they show these buildings that they're entering, and then they're big kind of boxy suburban buildings where I'm like, this isn't really small town anymore.
Yeah, it feels like they're like in like a not downtown Vancouver, but like or wherever they film it. It feels like it's definitely more of a city spot than like a small town area where they used to film. You can feel that energy or that vibe. It feels different.
I definitely felt that, and not that it was a negative difference. It just was noticeably different to me, where you build such a brand around the small town gossips, the small town which they weren't there.
Which they weren't there. I didn't think about it until you just said it. I'm like, they were non-existent. They weren't there.
They weren't there. So I'm fine with it being like a bigger, more bustling town, but maybe we should drop the, oh, it's a small town, everyone knows everyone type of shit.
Yeah.
But either way, that's not really a critique. It's just a noticeable difference. But let's move on to the cast. The cast. What did you mention before last week that the sister was different?
Yes, and I will say I liked Michelle. I liked kind of her just kind of, I don't know how you describe
Baby of
her.
the family.
Yeah, baby of the family. She's quirky. She seems kind of different than everyone else in her family.
Yes.
And I definitely liked that. What did you think about her?
Yeah, I thought she brought an interesting energy to it. I thought she for sure could have been like a best friend as well. Like maybe she didn't need to be another sister, but they have such that a strong family bond in this series that
they kind of needed something.
Yeah, if we can't get Andrea, then let's introduce Michelle and keep that strong family bond going.
Yeah.
And she added a really funny element to me. She had no patience for Dolores.
Yes. Yes, I love that.
Yeah, she was all about Hannah's mysteries, and like she was an adventurer, you could tell. And so, I mean, she was fun. She was a fun addition. I wonder if we'll see her more.
Yeah, I wonder that too. I'm wondering if we'll see her more, if they're going to wait for feedback, or if they're just like, yeah, we want her to be there. Yeah. But I do wish, I mean, it's kind of like, okay, we understand Hallmark movies and mysteries, like you're rebranding this, but we kind of needed at least a quick pass by explanation as to where she's been for the past like 5 movies. I mean, I guess they were trying to hint at that she travels a lot.
But
they just said she was just in Cairo, but they weren't saying, oh, for the past 5 years, she's been, you know, wherever. And I'm just like, where did she come from? Like,
I know. And Mike knew her. I mean, Mike was like, oh, hey, Michelle.
Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, you can at least like tell us when you met her, because we don't know anything about her.
And sometimes in these movies it is frustrating when they explain too much, but in this beloved series, I do think it would have been helpful to explain where she's
some kind of
and where in the heck are Andrea and Bill and new baby Teresa Hannah.
Well, they did a drive-by on that. It was like boop, like
tell me, maybe I missed it.
You missed it, guys. It was so quick.
What they say?
Right in the beginning when is her I think her name is is her name Minnie on When Calls the Heart?
Oh, I don't know.
Who comes to town? I don't know the actresses. Okay, Natasha Bure.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so Natasha Bure, when she first comes up and they're outside the gym, she says, "Oh, how's Andrea? How are they liking Seattle?"
Oh my word.
How did the move go? How are they liking Seattle? And then Hannah says like, oh, they're doing okay. She's trying to get used to the rain. And then it's like over and then never mentioned again. So
I totally missed that.
It was quick.
You brought that up.
Because I was like, oh, they mentioned Andrea. Let me pay attention. Because I'm like, yeah, I want an explanation as to where she is.
Well, I'm gonna miss them then. Yeah. If they're in Seattle,
they better find a way to bring them back. Obviously, whenever the wedding is, they better find a way to bring them back, at least for the wedding. At least give us that. So
really, really good point. Yeah, I hope that they do, bring the family together again. So, okay, goodbye, Andrea and Bill and baby, the new baby that they moved. I don't know. That's crazy.
I know.
But hello, Michelle. I think she could be a really fun addition.
Yeah, I think so too. I liked her. I liked what she brought.
Okay, so what did you think of the new, I don't know if it's a permanent partner or person at the police station working with Mike, but what did you think of her?
Okay, so I think I missed that. Do you know where that came from?
Yes.
Or what? I think I missed that part.
Okay, I did catch this too.
Okay, good.
This is why 2 of us do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I guess obviously Bill is gone and they are short-staffed, understaffed at the police station. Okay. And all of these, they were dealing with theft and now they're dealing with murder. Yeah. They brought in somebody from internal affairs.
Okay, because I remember him saying she was from someplace. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
So they brought her in to help. And then that's why when Mike's like, oh, I can do it solo. She's like, how about you try, try
Yeah.
to let me.
Yeah.
Um, so they brought her in. So I don't know if she's a permanent character, but
Okay.
for this movie, she definitely played a role.
Mhm.
Hard. She was
Yeah.
hard.
She was, especially in the beginning, she came off intense, which, before she met Mike foot and mouth. And so then from there, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, this is how this is going to start off.
Okay, in any other Hallmark movie, Mike and this new partner would have like, a bad start on their way to a romance, but obviously he's not.
Yeah.
He's not available. But they just establish slowly over the movie a nice working relationship. Excuse me.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
one thing I thought was so hilarious about this character coming in from the outside, she finds Hannah snooping around and arrests her.
That was so funny. I was like, it was unexpected to me. I'm like, out of all this time, Hannah's never been arrested. Like, this needed to happen. Like, yes.
Like, she should have been arrested so many times, but her brother-in-law, her new love interest, they were on the force.
Yeah.
So she gets
That was good. Whoever's idea to put that in the movie, good job. I like that.
Me
I like
too.
that Michelle was like into the what do you call it, arrest photo thing, and she like embraced it. And then Dolores, she was kind of like, and she kind of embraced it. Hannah was just like,
I know Hannah was like, this doesn't happen. Like, Hannah can sleuth without consequences,
Yeah, she's like invincible, basically. Yeah.
Right, she totally was. And so that, to me, was an amazing addition to this actual one movie. Like, okay, no, you can't be doing this. You're a civilian. What are you doing? And I'm going to arrest you. And Mike had to bail her out. I mean, that was gold.
Yeah, that was good. I thoroughly enjoyed that plot point.
Me too. I thought that was great. So she does come in and she's kind of hard, but she softens up at the, as we go along and kind of tries to figure out Hannah's dynamic with Mike solving cases, although she's really not on board, obviously. With
yeah.
But ends up being fine. Okay, anything new? A new house. I mean, she has a new house. I don't think it was yellow before. I mean, that's kind of just silly stuff that I noticed.
Yeah. I don't think it was either. And the cookie jar was definitely different for the second time. In this series, it was like, feels more industrial. It feels bigger. It feels a lot of different things. Yeah,
it was so different. So there was a little less warmth to that.
Yeah,
it had to be big enough though for a certain crucial scene that we'll get to. But anything else? I mean, I feel like everything else kind of rolled.
I will say, just because I noticed it a lot and I felt like it stood out a lot. And, as a person of color, like, I'm always noticing people of color. And I was like, I've never seen this many people of color in Eden Lake before, ever. I was like, wow, I was like, it's great. But I definitely noticed it because I was like, I think it was only, what's his name? From Haley Dean Mysteries. Like, he worked in the police department.
Yes.
I swear before he was like the only person. So
he really was the only person.
So I thought I that was nice. I could tell that they were trying to, add some diversity to the community. So that's good.
You're right. It was noticeable, but not in a I mean, it was you go with it. I mean, but it wasn't like, so it was a nice addition is what I'm trying to
exactly.
say. Like, noticeable, but a nice addition. And maybe some steady characters like this, a couple new people at the police station. But everyone else maybe just for this movie.
Yeah.
Have you got a Hallmarky, Hardy, Postable, or Sleuther in your life? Are you looking for the perfect gift for your loved one? Look no further than the Hallmarkies podcast merch store. We have designs from artists like Jessica Miller and Kari at Hallmark Comics. At the store, you can declare your team, like hashtag Team Lucas or hashtag Team Nathan. And you can also have your hashtag shirts with hashtag postables, hashtag Hardies, hashtag goodies. We've got the Love Me Like series where you can get designs such as Love Me Like Nick Loves Aurora. And there's also great stories beyond Hallmark, like Anne and Gilbert from Anne of Green Gables. And it's not just shirts, but notebooks, mugs, pillows, and cell phone cases. Your support of the merch store helps keep the podcast going, and we are so appreciative. There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or follow the link in the description. That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
Okay, so the mystery. Let's just talk about the mystery. Was this a good story to you? Like, did it hold up what Cameron Matheson said in that behind the scenes video you watched? Remember what he said?
Yeah, he said you're not going to expect how good it is. It's a really good mystery, and
you're not going to know who did it or something.
I will say they did one of those which I'm usually better about trying to like pay attention to the person that they don't pay attention to until they do at the last second. And I usually try to have that in my mind, and I wasn't having that in my mind. And so they had lots of, people that had motive that really probably should have done it.
Yes.
And that, those people made sense, like her,
lots of motive.
Her husband that, she hasn't reconciled with.
Yes.
And this guy who was being super friendly to her and I guess flirtatious, and then his wife. So I mean, I thought that I didn't see who it was coming until I didn't see it at all. So that was definitely like out of left field. I'm like, what, this guy? And then they explain it and it totally makes sense.
Yeah. This is a review of the movie, I guess we can say.
Yeah, sure.
If you want.
I forgot his name. Wait, hold on. I don't remember.
I think it's Ted. But
Ted, the security.
I think it's Ted. So the one thing I did notice about Ted, I didn't suspect him really, but I did notice like he's an awful security guard. He was not like anywhere he needed to be. He
was always on the other side of the building.
Yes.
And so I think that was one of Mike's clues when he's going in there looking for Hannah, and he's like, I'm gonna go to the north side of the building. He's like, why is this dude always going to the other side of the building?
Like, you're always not there. So that you're right. That was a good clue of his. I think there were things that like I did not, with all the suspects, I felt like every one of them could have been, like the people you just listed could have been the murderer. Yeah. But I did notice, I was like, okay, now I'm going to just look for things like, when she goes to the flower shop and she said something about the pen. She's like, oh, this pen, do you get repeat business with this, and maybe she should have one for the cookie jar. I was sitting with my daughter and we were like, okay, the pen is going to be a big deal.
Exactly. They never mention anything just to mention it. Right. It's always like, this has purpose for mentioning.
It has purpose. With following the camera, like through the gym where she does some, her cycling, and she goes early, she finds the dead body, so the gym was a big part of the movie, obviously. They kept showing these funky like signs, like join the swim team, like they really kept showing these, and I thought that was going to be a part of the
okay. Yeah.
I was like, oh, they keep showing, but that's when I overthink it instead of just like
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as I saw that pen, I was like, oh, here we go.
I know.
She's left the party alone. Here's the pen. Okay, we know what's about to happen.
Okay, you know what I loved about this guy, though? As soon as she realized that, he has the pen, the roses that were sent, blah, 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 she starts piecing things together. He turned so sinister. Like, he was really nice and kind of jovial, and then like he sees her.
He sees like she's something. He sees something in her face, and then his face is like,
I know. And I just wanted to be like, Hannah, be cool. Like, be cool. Like, don't
be a cucumber. Just
don't give it away. But she did.
I know. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
She did one too many lookups and looks and
one too many, way too many. So I do think it's a good mystery. It does keep you hooked. Introduces so many people. This girl who was murdered, like, really did have a mystery following her. She got close to a lot of people. So I liked the mystery part of it a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought they did a good job with that.
Yeah. But really, something else stole the show for me, actually, with this movie.
Oh, yeah, they had some good stuff in this movie, because I think the other thing you're going to talking about is the thing I also liked.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You tell.
Well, for me, it was the whole storyline with Dolores's book.
Yes. Yes. I was like, as soon as they said the title, I was like, oh no.
No.
I'm like, of course she did this. Oh my gosh. That was so funny. Oh my God.
She has like this newfound like just energy about her, and she just is wearing these clothes, and her hair is so feathery.
She got her bangs.
She got her bangs for Chesapeake Shores.
Yep.
And she has written a romance, and it is a love triangle about a girl named Anna. A-N-N-A, Anna.
Which rhymes with
Hannah.
Anna. Okay.
And the one guy, Nathaniel, and then the one guy, Mr. Kingstone or something.
Detective King, or was it Mr.? I don't know, but it was Kingstone, and I was like, oh, I'm dead. I'm so
So Hannah hosts a reading. Her mom's book is being published, and she's going to read, and the cookie jar hosts an event. And people keep asking her, have you read the book yet? Oh, have you read the book yet?
I'm like, if people keep asking me that, I would at least go read a synopsis or something.
I know. I'm like, what's up?
Yeah.
So I thought that whole scene was the whole theme, I guess, of Dolores writing this book was so funny.
Yeah, that was really good.
Really funny gag. So she ends up finding out it's a book about her. Loosely. I mean, Dolores doesn't claim it, but it is.
She was not trying to claim it.
With Norman and Mike, and I mean the whole thing is just cracks me up. So the period costumes come in because she told Mike and Norman and Hannah that everybody's going to be dressed up in period costumes for her party, and they were not.
Yeah. Nope, that didn't work out.
So all of a sudden the three of them come in, and they're these unwilling characters of her book come to life. It was just so funny.
It was very funny. And I just, oh my gosh, when Norma was in there, and then she was looking at Dolores when she's reading that, and she lowers her glasses and says, and her mother didn't approve of that. I was like, oh no.
You didn't.
Hannah has just figured out what's happened, and this is crazy.
But Norman was a pretty good sport about it. And
He was.
Yeah. He kind of played a little bit of a sad sack in this movie, actually.
He did a little bit. They kind of like, for the first time, were kind of, playing into like he wasn't the one who got chosen kind of thing. Which was interesting.
I thought so too.
But I just want to ask this lady, like, I might have to read these books so I can try to understand.
Okay.
Because I just don't, like, I think it's like she wanted her to pick Mike, but it's like she doesn't actually like Mike. Because when they were in that flower shop having this whole scene, I'm like, why does Norman get this whole scene? Like, I'm upset.
I know, like it should have been Mike, right?
It was so weird. I was like, why is he still getting these things? And so I don't know. I think that's like she couldn't decide, and so the author, I guess, if it's the same in the books, I don't know.
You're right.
But it's like she wanted to pick Mike, but then she wants Norman to continue to
right. And I think before, in the 5 other movies, I kind of felt like Hannah did a good job, with the triangle and stuff. And now that she made her choice and she's actually engaged to Mike, this movie was a lot of her making sure Norman was okay. Making sure they were okay and they could still be friends. And I'm like, mostly you can't still be friends.
Yeah.
And like, it's okay. It's okay to not like make sure he likes you still. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay.
Like, just let him buy flowers for a first date without going, oh, like, That
Yeah.
was a weird reaction from
Yeah,
Hannah.
it was weird. And then, Mike comes in and then they're like dancing and he's like he's like a little bit like jilted, like, what's
Yeah,
going on?
I'm like, you're not jilted, you won. Like her ring is on your finger. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I was a little disappointed with how they played Norm in this movie. I wanted him to kind of just move on with that confidence that we saw in the last movie where he's dating,
Yeah.
he has a little backbone, he's a part of the community.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I think it was like a step back because it did seem like so much like that he was like okay before, and then all of a sudden now it's like this whole step back. I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of that part was kind of weird.
they could have started a love connection with him and someone else.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
could have started it and it could have been like a really fun kind of side character starting to be interested in each other. Like, so I hope that they move on from that. I really don't want 3 more movies of, anything like this.
yeah,
Hopefully they don't. I still like Norman a lot as a character. I think I was just surprised with how they played it.
yeah,
Like he was dejected and you're like, no, it's been 6 months. You're okay.
yeah,
You're fine.
yeah,
Just be happy for Hannah and she should be happy for you. Anyway, that's my 2 cents about Norman.
yeah.
Still as cute as a button, but
Yes, he is.
yeah. Okay, Mike and Hannah. Let's talk about Mike and Hannah. How
Yes.
did that storyline play out for you personally?
I thought it was pretty good. They gave him some good, some nice moments in there, and I'm trying to think what I felt like I was missing something though.
Really?
Trying to think what it was though.
Yeah.
I guess because of this lady, like they weren't having so much conversing like throughout this whole case, which is what, we're kind of used to.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's what I felt like was missing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think that I finally was like, oh good, when she showed up at his office with a picnic basket and was like, okay, we're making time for each other, because they kept kind of canceling dates and stuff. And she showed up and she is in this beautiful yellow dress and she has a picnic basket dinner. And finally they get to sit down and they get to kind of talk about the case and talk about other things in life. And I was like, phew, okay, good.
yes.
They're doing okay because the whole thing with her ring, she loses her wedding ring or engagement ring at the crime scene.
Yes.
And misplaces it. Well, it's in the locker. She couldn't go back to get it, and he figures out like, you don't have your ring. She's trying to hide it from him,
Yeah.
some things like that. So maybe what you felt as far as like if you were missing something was off, maybe they meant to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. That could definitely be it.
Like
Is
they
that
weren't communicating.
Yeah, that they were exactly trying to help us feel that they weren't communicating because like, just from my own personal, relationship stuff, like if you see that you should just tell the person, like if you lost your ring, like just tell them like it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Mike is the kind of person, he's going to want to find it for you.
Right.
He's going to want to do that. And that's okay. I know she don't want him to worry about it, but then he's like, well, why didn't you just tell me,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
just have
Yeah.
open communication. That's good.
Definitely. And he saw these wedding magazines that were had post-it notes in them on the article about like a big wedding. And so he just assumed that Hannah did that, but really Dolores did that.
I mean, Mike, did you really think that Hannah, is the type of person to post-it note fancy magazine? Like you might not know her if you think that.
I know. He was so funny about that. It was like, I thought you wanted a big wedding. She goes, I don't even think I know 300 people. Like, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
But so they did. They finally reconnected, which I was glad for. They had some really cute moments though. Like when he was talking about, well, on that little date that I loved, in his office.
Yeah.
And said something about his costume. And
yes.
You're gonna love it. I don't want to show you, like
He's like, I got it last week. Like he was on top of it. I was like, okay.
he was
He
just
kinda
into
liked
it.
and he got it, and he was into it, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's good.
He wasn't like too good for this costume party and stuff. I thought that was great. So
Yeah, I like that, and I love forehead kisses, and we got 2, so that's good for me. I love those. They're just very sweet. So
how about when he was like, here, he did this and then
oh,
he kiss anyway.
I love that too.
That was cute.
Right at the beginning, yes, I love that too.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
That
that's
was
a Mike. That seems like a true Mike thing to do.
I know.
Always trying
Mike-
to steal that moment there.
Yeah. He just has a sweet way about him where he looks at her so affectionately and he wants to, touch her and be around her. And so
Yeah.
I love it. They're going strong. They ended saying, I don't want to rush this. I want to enjoy being engaged, so
Yeah.
so that was good because I think the fans might be like, is the wedding next? When's the wedding going to be? But they may have a couple more movies before a wedding, I would think.
Yeah.
Mhm. I would
I
hope.
think so.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, like this series is like fast tracked compared to any other series. Like she kisses 2 guys in the second movie. By the 5th movie, she's engaged to one of them. Like other movies move so much slower. So they could use this part to go slow finally. Go slow.
Right. But I think we've said this before, but I do think that that's what we love about this series. The murder.
It's different. It's just has so many like small differences that add up to be like, okay, this is just really different.
Yeah. To be this is everything I want in a Hallmark movie watching experience. There's the equal romance, the mystery to funny. This one was funny, I thought. They had funny lines. Funny scenes that I laughed at, funny delivery. I mean, I think it's in good hands. The series going forward. I do think it's in good hands.
Yeah, I think so. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, that when she went to jail and Dolores's book, and then the mystery part, like that was all. Like that was good.
It was just good. Okay, so any final thoughts?
I don't think so. I just really hope that that they do more, and we can hopefully Michelle will, I don't know, stay around or be in town or whatever next time. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I just don't want them to stop now. We just got it resurrected, so let's just keep going.
Me too. I totally agree. And I think we all know the feeling of watching something and wanting it to be good and going, oh, shoot, and having to admit that it wasn't very good. This is not that movie. This is the type of movie that I'm like, yes, okay, good. They continued on with the high quality of this series, and maybe we'll take it in some other fun direction. So I just thought it was great.
Yeah, I agree.
Good.
I think they did good, and we want to see more. And I guess to anybody who wants to see more, Allison Sweeney said make sure that you just tweet or do Instagram, like tag #Hannah Swensen to help when the Hallmark execs are looking around to see what people were saying, to see that it was positive and that they want more. So make sure you do that if you enjoyed it. She said that's important.
Okay, good. Well, that's good to know. I'm gonna go and do something in my stories right now, like when we get off, because I love this, and I do want to see more. I think it's off to a great start. Looking forward to more Hannah Swensen mysteries. That'll be so good.
Will be.
Well,
excited.
Good. Okay, everybody, let us know what you thought of the movie Sweet Revenge, a Hannah Swensen mystery. Let us know in the comments here on YouTube, or leave a review if you're listening on iTunes. Definitely go find Hallmarkies Podcast all over social media at Hallmarkies Podcast or Hallmarkies Pod. And Ann, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at awscott21.
And come find me over on Instagram at Hallmark Comics. That's Hallmark_comics. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.